joining me. Listen, Tuesday Spark about words of information, about words of inspiration, and words of insight that may spark something in your mind. I'm not trying to tell you what to think. I'm just trying to get you to think. Remember, words are powerful. It only takes a spark to start a fire. So let's spark it up. So let me give you some bulletin board material so you can keep up with what's going on in the life of the village. Remember that our theme for this year is keep moving forward. We've got to keep moving forward. It's challenging at times, so sometimes we want to just throw in the towel, just keep moving forward. Listen, join us every Sunday at 9 a.m. live for our worship experience at the village. It can be seen on all of our sort of social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, and also both my Facebook page and the village Facebook page. That's 9 a.m. Join us for worship and invite somebody, start a watch party, and just join us. Also, prayer on Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 6:15 in the morning. You can just come and be a part of it. You don't need to be a member. Just go on our website, thevillageDC.church, to get the information so you can dial in and the number and put the code in. But join us. If you have someone you want on our prayer list, you can inbox us on our website so we can put that person's name on our prayer list. That's every Wednesday at 6:15. Also, on tomorrow, we'll start with our spring teaching series, our Word on Wednesday, and we'll be looking at the book of Esther. And so that's tomorrow night at 7:30. You don't want to miss it. Our class is about 30 minutes and it's power-packed and full of information and inspiration. You don't want to miss it. That's tomorrow night we start our spring teaching series. Don't forget, our 21-day Daniel fast will start on February the 22nd. That's February the 22nd. You need to get your refrigerator together, your food together, because on the Daniel fast you don't eat any meat, no fish, no chicken, none of those kind of things. It's primarily a vegetarian and water kind of fast, and fruit, of course. And so you need to really get your refrigerator, get your mind, get your spirit together. And that starts on February the 22nd and it ends on midnight at March the 15th. And also, we want to know that Black History Month started on yesterday. And the short month of February is an opportunity not just for African Americans, but for all people, particularly who live in America, to look at the history of African American people and African people, their contribution here on this continent, but also what they did on the motherland from Africa and all over the diaspora. So it's a great opportunity for us to look back and to learn from our history so that we won't repeat it. Communion is this month on the 21st of February. It's every third Sunday. So get your communion stuff together. Last time I think I used some pretzels and some juice. You can use whatever you want. Just join us. Now I want to thank all of you for supporting the village through your offerings, your tithes, through your prayers, but especially those who financially support the village. I want to just thank just the members, the friends for your support. And remember, all of your gifts are tax deductible. You can give through Givelify, you can give through Cash App, you can go to the website, and I want you just to thank you. Remember, the ministry of the village is about touching lives, not about brick and mortar. The village is in the business of touching lives, and that's ministry, and that continues to be done because of you. Thank you. Tonight, I want to talk about dating in black and white. Dating in black and white. This is a subject to some for people that's very sore. It's not a new subject. And it's certainly a subject that will probably be talked about and studied for a long time. But I just want to weigh in on the whole sort of conversation around interracial dating. Now, from the start, so I can give a disclaimer, I am not against people who are dating outside of their ethnic group, whether you're black or white or Asian or whatever color you are, whatever language you speak. And nor will I do like some people who falsely use the Bible to keep people from dating outside of their ethnic groups or their culture. So I'm not here because I don't agree with that at all. But I am curious, though, in terms of particularly why some black men prefer dating white women. I'm just curious. I've heard conversations some black brothers who say they wouldn't date a sister, and they're black. And I'm like, wow, what is that about? And it's mind-boggling. So sometimes what I think about, if you say that, it's like you're making a decision that something is wrong. It's not just a preference, but something perhaps is wrong with the black sisters. And my thing is, if you met somebody and you fell in love, and that's what happened, hey, more power to you. But if you say out of your mouth, I don't want to date a sister, and your mother's a sister, your sister's a sister, your aunties, cousins, but then you don't want to date a sister. And I was thinking about, what does that say? Not just from a psychological, spiritual standpoint, but what does that say about a brother who says, I only date white women? I mean, is he saying that he hates his mother because if he doesn't want to wake up in the morning to look at someone who looks like her? Is he saying that, something is intrinsically wrong with this sister? What is actually happening here? And it's like I said in the beginning, it's not about that you meet somebody and you fall in love, but when you make a statement that I won't date a black sister, then there's really something very interesting about that. I had stories about O.J. Simpson in the past in terms of his preferences. His first wife was a beautiful African-American woman, and I think her name was Juanita or something like that, but she was absolutely beautiful. And they had a child to actually drown in the pool, and I think that's when the trouble started, and they ended up getting a divorce. But then after that, of course, O.J. Simpson, his preference was seemingly to be dating white women. And it's, like I said, it's nothing against people dating interracially, but when you make a decision that something's wrong with your own people, your beautiful black women, to me, I have some issues with that. So I was told that sometimes he would go and they would like to go to party. He would say, look, if you ain't got no white women here, then I'm not going to be a part of it. But also, I just saw the movie that Regina King just did, a wonderful movie that had Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali, and Sam Cooke, and James Brown, the running back, Jim Brown, the running back, who's probably in his 80s now. And Jim said he couldn't be a Muslim because he liked pork. Of course, his grandmother's pork chop. But he also said he liked white women. And but the thing is what challenges me is that if I say that I won't date my own sisters, black women, because I prefer a white woman, what am I saying to my daughter? What am I saying to my nieces? What am I saying to my own mother? Do I have some sort of self-hatred? Do I hate the person that I am? Do I hate the person that looks back at me and looks like me? What is it about that this grabs me? And it's challenging because I think our sisters have a hard time already just trying to find eligible black men to marry or to date them, anything, just to be friends. And then we turn around and sort of pour gasoline on the wound and light the fire and say, I don't want no sisters. And we often hear stuff, sisters are, they don't take no stuff and they talk and this. But I've seen all kinds of women who talk as much or talk the same as black women. Have you ever met an Italian woman? Have you ever met a Chinese woman and watched their interactions with the men that they're with? And sometimes we think that things are so different, sometimes, but they're much the same. But I try to figure out, what is going on in our culture. Whether it's a Tiger Woods, we've never seen him. Of course, he's supposed to be Caucasian, and one time he knew he was black because they called him the N-word when he went to golf courses that wouldn't accept him. But we've never seen him in one instance ever think about dating a black. He can date anybody he wants, but it's kind of curious, I'm like, it's curious. It's like you think about, and this is just me talking. This is your host talking. Sometimes I'm just disturbed. Like, here somebody comes into millions and millions of dollars. And the persons they seem to uplift don't look nothing like them, do not come from their communities at all. And this is who that they say they're going to build a life with, and with all the resources they have. Now, of course, you can marry whoever you want. I know some of you probably going to write back to me and say, man, you're crazy. But I'm just curious. You have to think about what is going on in somebody's mind when they say they're not interested. A brother who says, I don't want to date no sister. I don't want to date no black woman. I just date white women. And then you would hear people who go just the opposite and say, listen, to black girls, you ought to get yourself a white man, as though they were selling something wonderful. You ought to get yourself a white man, because I think there's this myth that somehow white men are going to treat you a lot better. Do you not know that white men, some of them, not all, they beat their wives, that they get to do things the same? What you need to find somebody that you really love for the right reasons, not because you think that getting or dating a white woman is the supreme, like somehow they represent the best. That's like you are self-loathing and hating on yourself. Because like I said, if you meet somebody, y'all happen to fall in love. But if you're intentionally saying, I want to marry a white woman and you're black, what does that say about you? I know Clarence Thomas is a very interesting guy, but his wife was off the rails. Matter of fact, she should be arrested in some regards for helping to egg on those rioters. But it's interesting when you look at these characters in our culture and you ask yourself, why? Why is there this insistence? So sisters, I want to tell you from me, Tait, that I love y'all. Y'all are fine, y'all are beautiful, y'all are queens, y'all are made in the image and likeness of God. Let me tell you something. I wouldn't trade anything in the world for my African queens and princesses. I have 3 lovely sisters. I have beautiful nieces. You think I would trade anything for them? No, I love them. And I love black women. Not just, I don't care if she's high yellow or if she's blue black or in between. I love me some sisters. I just want to ask you brothers tonight who may be listening, maybe you need to take a second look. Maybe you need to ask yourself, what is it about you that you're not able to deal with a black woman? Why is she so intimidating to you? Why is it that you are afraid? What is it going on in your mind? I'm not talking about somebody you meet and fall in love. I'm talking about when you intentionally say you don't want to date a black woman. Hey, it's Tuesday Spark. This is Dr. Tait. I just want to get y'all thinking tonight. Have a good evening.